there are riches in the niches. Let's see. Y'all, I studied business for a really long time. Not as long as like the great business guys have that made a lot more money than I have. But while they were making money, I was studying books. Okay. And let's see here. One of the books, there was a specific chapter in this book that talks about look at this, man. Look at this, man. I'm gonna read to y'all straight out of the book. Okay? I'll read to you guys straight out of the book. Cause these, like, one of the things that I realized about college, one of the things that I realized about college is that, these books have a lot of great stories in them that you may not hear of if you're just in a specific part of the world or doing business somewhere. Just certain things that you don't hear without actually being in it and a part of it. Okay? Okay. Now each of these stories in here in this book, they're different. They're different. They're different stories about how to do some cool things. Okay. So I'm trying to find a starting point for y'all, because obviously I just grabbed this off the shelf. So bear with me for a second while I figure out exactly where I want to start this with y'all. Okay, so in the book, the book talks in this first, well, it's not even the first chapter. It's actually the fourth chapter in this book. And it talks about strategic management. Okay, this book, guys, is entrepreneurship and effective small business management. Okay, so in this book, in this chapter specifically, it talks about a 7-step strategic management process. Okay, and I'm gonna read to you straight from the book and exactly what the 7 steps are. All right. The strategic management process. One of the most important tasks a business owner must perform is to look ahead, to peer into the future, and then devise a strategy for meeting the challenges and opportunities it presents. Strategic management. The best way to accomplish this vital task is a continuous process that consists of 9 steps. So I said 7, it's actually 9. Okay? 9 steps. Step 1, develop a clear vision and translate it into a meaningful mission statement. Step 2, assess the company's strengths and weaknesses. Step 3, scan the environment for significant opportunities and threats facing the business. Step 4, identify the key factors for success in the business. Step 5, analyze the competition. Step 6, create company goals and objectives. Step 7, formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies. Step 8, translate strategic plans into action plans. And step 9, establish accurate controls. Now, this is great, right? These are all great steps. It's how you strategize effectively in business. I consider myself an enterprise architect. One of the things that enterprise architects do is help business owners come up with strategies. Okay, so a strategy, first and foremost, is to create a niche. Like, a strategy, first and foremost, is to figure out how your business is gonna be separate, from everybody else to a certain extent, or create your own lane in a sense, and really make your business go full throttle. Even if you are sharing a market of a specific industry, how can you at least capture like a small percentage of a market? Now, listen, when you're talking about market share, right? Like, understand how many people are in business. Understand how many people are in the world. Understand that everything around you is a business, whether you want it to be or not. Understand that you are an entrepreneur, you are a business, you are a brand, you are something. When you're not a consumer, you're a creator, you're a producer, you're a business, you are capable of capturing a slight percentage of one of these market shares, even if it's like 1% out of 100%, even if it's like a half of a half, like a half of 1% out of the 100%, it's still better than no percent, right? So in step number 7 specifically, okay, remember what number 7 was. We're just gonna skip through all of these because I don't want to break each one of these down just yet. I'm just gonna jump to the point that we made about step number 7 in the strategic process. And step number 7 is formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies. So in that section, formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies. Let's define what a strategy is. In this book, it says a strategy is a roadmap an entrepreneur draws up of actions necessary to fulfill a company's missions, goals, and objectives. In other words, the mission, goals, and objectives spell out the ends, and the strategy defines the means for reaching them. I'll continue to read. A strategy is the master plan that covers all of the major parts of the organization and ties them together in a unified whole. The plan must be action-oriented. That is, it should breathe life into the entire planning process. Entrepreneurs must build a sound strategy based on the preceding steps that uses their company's core competencies as the springboard to success. Joseph Picken and Gregory Dess, authors of Mission Critical, the 7 strategic traps that derail even the smartest companies, write, a flawed strategy, no matter how brilliant the leadership, no matter how effective the implementation, is doomed to fail. A sound strategy, implemented without error, wins every time. A successful strategy is comprehensive and well integrated, focusing on establishing the key success factors that the entrepreneur identified in step 4. So, what does all of that have to do with niche? What does all of that have to do with your target audience? What does all that have to do with figuring out what, who you're going to sell to, what that has to do with you, any of these things? Well, if you're watching this, then you probably have an idea of maybe slightly, potentially, what your personal strengths are and maybe slightly potentially that you have this idea and you know exactly maybe the problem that it could solve, and you have some objectives in mind as far as implementing them and getting to the next step, but maybe you just need some kind of push, or you just need that icing on the cake. Okay, well, I'm about to give you the icing on the cake, and you can take this and do whichever kind of things you want to do with it. Okay, there are a number of strategies from which entrepreneurs can choose, which is infinite. Okay, so there are an infinite number of things that we can do in business. There's almost literally no rules to this thing, and if you stay around, I'll give you the one of the key ingredients to really exploding your business, and one of the key things that will keep you in business very, very long term, longer than many competitors, if you stay till the end. Okay, and I'm just gonna throw it in here at some point, so it might be at the end, it might be in the next 30 seconds, who knows, I don't know. Anyways, 3 strategic options. The number of strategies from which entrepreneurs can choose is infinite. When all of the glitter is stripped away, however, 3 basic strategies remain. In his classic book, Competitive Strategies, Michael Porter defines these strategies. Number 1, cost leadership. Number 2, differentiation. And number 3, focus. Now, all of these things, okay, if you use these strategic options, these 3 things will definitely help you create a niche. It'll definitely help you stay in your niche, or it'll definitely help you be able to switch lanes from one to another if you can figure out these 3 steps, or when you figure out these 3 steps and come up with a specific thing of how you want to do this. All right, so I'm going to get into these 3. Again, it's cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. All right, I really enjoyed this class. I love entrepreneurship. I went to college because deep in my heart I knew I was an entrepreneur, and I really wanted to learn more about myself, not because I thought it was, I don't know, not because I was like of the money, or because like people was like saying college was great or it wasn't great or anything like that. It's like I really thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I still think of myself as an entrepreneur, one of the best entrepreneurs. However, I went to college to learn more about myself, and so I majored in entrepreneurship, and I love entrepreneurship. I love teaching people entrepreneurship and giving people tips about entrepreneurship. And this specific piece of the book right here really stood out to me, and that's why I want to make sure that you have it. Okay, so cost leadership. A company pursuing cost leadership strategy thrives to be the lowest cost producer. Strives to be the low. My bad. Are we good? We back. Okay. 1 second. I'm almost back, y'all. I need a second. Okay. In action. All right, so let's get into it. Let's really get into it this time. I'm not stalling anymore. All right. Cost leadership strives to be the lowest cost producer relative to its competitors in the industry. Many small companies attempt to compete by offering low prices, but low costs are a prerequisite for success. And the quote says, you can't compete on price if you can't compete on costs. So, understand something, right? There's a difference. There's a big difference. Yo, there's a big difference between price and cost, okay? Price and cost are two different things in business, all right? So let me just rewind this back, cause maybe we was thinking one thing when we started this, and then we started thinking something else. But let's just be open-minded and expand for a second, because I really want to look out for my entry-level entrepreneurs who are trying to jump in the market and lowball. All right, we're trying to jump in the market and cut costs. Here we go again. A company pursuing a cost leadership strategy strives to be the lowest cost producer relative to its competitors in the industry. Lowest cost producer. Let's underline that, okay? Lowest cost producer relative to its competitors in the industry. In this industry. Lowest cost producers in this industry, okay? Many small companies attempt to compete by offering low prices. As I said, low prices, not low costs. Many companies attempt to compete by offering low prices, but low costs are a prerequisite for success. Okay? You can't compete on price if you can't compete on costs. Explains small business researcher Scott Shane. Cost control on all fronts is paramount in companies that pursue this strategy. Economies of scale that are associated with large-scale operations are a common source of a company's cost advantage. High value equal low per unit cost, which makes executing a successful cost leadership strategy difficult for small businesses. However, there are many ways to build a low-cost strategy. The most successful cost leaders know the areas in which they have cost advantages over their competitors and use them as the foundation for their strategies. Low-cost leaders have a competitive advantage in researching buyers whose primary purchase criterion is price, and they have the power to set the industry's price floor. This strategy works well when buyers are sensitive to price changes, when competing firms sell the same commodity products, and when companies can benefit from economies of scale. Not only is a low-cost leader in the best position to defend itself in a price war, but it can use its power to attack competitors with the lowest price in the industry. You have to be the lowest cost producer in your patch, says the president of a small company that sells classic commodity product, cement. Now, it goes into the dangers, okay, of low-cost strategy, and then some more things, okay? Next page. Just bear with me. I know it's a lot, but we'll get through all three of these, I promise. Just bear with me, and I'll give you my opinion on this one at the end. Dangers exist in following a cost leadership strategy. Companies using this strategy are pursuing customers whose purchase decisions are driven almost exclusively by price and are not likely to be brand loyal. If another company dethrones a cost leader from its low-cost position, the former cost leader's customer base can evaporate quickly. Some companies attempt to compete on price, even though their cost structure is not the lowest in the market. Other companies focus exclusively on lowering manufacturing costs without considering the impact of purchasing. Other companies focus exclusively on lowering manufacturing costs without considering the impact of purchasing, distribution, or overhead costs. Another danger is misunderstanding a company's true cost drivers. For instance, one furniture manufacturer drastically underestimated its overhead costs and as a result was selling its products at a loss. Pursuing a cost leadership strategy requires the company to consistently focus on controlling and lowering costs. But if executed properly, it can be an incredibly powerful strategic weapon. Okay. What are my thoughts on cost leadership strategy? Look, it goes down to this. If you want to be good at whatever niche you're in, which this is the way a lot of people attack it, right? You attack it by trying to lower your price inside of whatever market. Oh, this place is charging, this guy's charging you $100, I'll charge you $75 and I'll do a better job. Okay, well, if you're gonna do a better job, why are you charging less? Just charge $1 more. like free game. Just charge $1. If you're really gonna do a better job than this guy who's already charging $100, just charge $1 more. Do you think that somebody would pay you $1 more than the guy who's charging $100? If you're really gonna do a better job, yeah. Because what's one extra dollar? What's 4 quarters? You can go scrap from inside the couch cushions. It's nothing. Okay, so the reason why people want to lowball is because they're someone who's price conscious themselves. I even did this before. I thought like going out there, I'd be able to just charge low prices and do things like that, and I ended up losing money. Okay, because you still have to operate a business. Remember that you're operating a business. Businesses need revenue. Businesses need cash flow. If you want commercial funding, you need to have 2 years of cash flow that's showing on record. And you don't get that by you don't get what you want by going out of business. You don't get more business by going out of business. All right, you get more business. You don't have a business if you're not in business. And if you price your stuff too low, you might go out of business. Now, if you are pricing your stuff low, understand that that's something that you do when you've already put yourself in position to do that. So if it costs you $100 to make the product, and you still have to pay lights, you still got to buy food, you still have to pay yourself, you still have to pay your employees, you still have to pay taxes, you still got to, whatever it is that you're doing, all right? Whatever it is that you have to pay. We talked about overhead and all these other things. If it costs you $100, you might have to double, triple, quadruple the cost in order to set your price. Because if it costs you $100 and you sell it at $105, but you still have all of these other bills to pay for, you're gonna lose. If it costs you $100 and you charge less than $100, or you're giving massive discounts, you're gonna lose. Okay, so When we're thinking about setting costs, when we're thinking about setting price, think about your costs. What is it going to cost you? What is it going to cost your business? What is it going to cost your employees? What is it going to cost your family? You know, think about all these things, man, because if the whole point of about the cost leadership strategy, right, is that you're the lowest cost producer, okay, in the industry relative to all of the competitors. That's the whole key to all of this, right? Part 2 on this, because I got a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about in terms of this cost leadership thing, because it's really, I gotta go into depth some more with it, and I gotta keep giving more examples, because this is like the number one thing that people want to start out with their business. They start thinking about numbers and what they would charge for something. Look, y'all, I want you to charge something astronomical, like just blow the top off of it, right? Just blow the top completely off of what it is that you think your service or your product is worth, right? And then take the product and work your way back, like in your idea, cultivate it up to that price. So if you got these sticky notes and you would charge $2 for 100 sticky notes, I want you to take this little stack of sticky notes right here and charge $100 for it. Okay? Why would someone even pay $100 for some sticky notes? When would somebody even pay $100 for some sticky notes? Okay? Well, the ideas are coming to your mind, right? Maybe they would charge $100. Maybe they would pay $100 for some sticky notes if it had something special on it or in it, or if it was written by somebody special, or if it was a specific color, or if it was somewhere where they absolutely needed paper and pen and there was no paper and pen and you couldn't use your phone. Or maybe they're going in to take an exam and there's no phones allowed, but you can use sticky notes. Or each of these sticky notes has a number on it, and at the end of the day we're going to do a raffle, and so if your sticky note gets pulled with your name on it, then you win $200,000, and the cost for the sticky note is $100. So boom, that's just like that's just ways to make something cost more or be more valuable, you could say, without necessarily without necessarily trying to lowball yourself and say, yeah, I'll just give you these for 10 cents. Because what are you going to do with 10 cents? I don't know. But sometimes where things are put and when they're put there, give them more value because they're placed differently. Now, with this whole cost leadership strategy, the most important thing again is to be the lowest cost producer in the industry. So the reason why we're charging this much, or the reason when you want to charge this much is because you're doing it at a time when you can afford to do so, and you're doing it because you know that it's gonna cost you less to make the product. You price it at a certain point, and then at the point that you price it, you take some of that money, you reinvest it into the manufacturing process, right? Into lowering your manufacturing costs so that this product can be made for a significantly lower amount, and then you can continue to sell at that price, and you might even be able to continue to sell it at a higher price, but it costs you less to make it. And again, that's just one of the ways that they do it. So that's a really good strategy. I think I commend people okay, who want to jump out into the market and offer things for less. We need people like you. We appreciate you. You know, Goodwill does it. People sell things on eBay all the time. People are out here on Marketplace giving stuff away for free. Guys, like, you're not, too concerned about the money part of it. You're charitable givers, and that means a lot to people who need it and who want to get started in business. To my business owners that want to get started in business, that are serious about doing business, for the love of me, yo. Like, please don't make the mistake that a lot of people make going into business. Almost everybody does this, and they do it because they may be in the wrong niche. They do it because they may be selling to the wrong person. We do it because we may be out of our cost to price ratio. We do it because we don't really understand. And, I really hope that you don't price yourself out of business. Okay? So if you're going to do the cost thing, make sure that your manufacturing is low enough to handle that price, because at the end of the day, even when you get paid, you might have to pay taxes. You might give your friend a discount. It might be a holiday. You might you might do something that's priced to a certain point where you have to take payments over a certain period of months in order to get that full payment back, and then that person stops paying you on month 2 when they were supposed to be doing a 12-month contract or something like that. Okay? And so these are things that you got to keep in mind when you're talking about cutting price. You don't cut price unless you can cut costs. Okay? And that's really all it boils down to. Do not cut your prices unless you can cut your costs. Do not cut your prices unless you can cut your costs. Do not cut your prices unless you can cut your costs. Okay? You can cut your prices. When can you cut your prices? When you can cut your costs. Cool. Got that? Cool. I think we understand that, right? So the book gives a really good example of this, a real world example, one that many of you may already know about. So what I'm going to do is get into that example. All right. The example is this. It's of Warby Parker. Okay. Everybody knows the brand, the eyeglass brand of Warby Parker. Okay. So they're great brand. Okay. Me personally, I'm a Zenni guy. I'm a Zenni optical guy. But this book gives a great example of how Warby Parker stood out in terms of using the cost leadership strategy. So I'll read it to you. All right. Founders of Warby Parker met at the University of Pennsylvania and discovered that they all preferred designer eyeglasses, but were put off by the $500 prices they paid for them. They began researching the eyeglasses industry and discovered that it was dominated by a few giant companies, and that the typical pair of glasses carried a markup of 20 times its cost. There's no fundamental reason that glasses are so expensive, says, I think it's Gilboa. It's a couple of pieces of plastic and metal. It's technology that was invented several hundred years ago, and there's been little innovation on the product side or the distribution side. The young entrepreneurs decided to change that and launch Warby Parker, an online retailer of glasses that designs and sells 50 styles of prescription glasses and sunglasses for as little as $95. Quote says, "We thought there had to be a better way," says Blumenthal. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to say their names because I didn't want to butcher them. I don't like when people butcher my name, but I'll just say one of the. I'll just say one of the founders. I don't want to butcher their names. Okay. "We thought there had to be a better way," says one of the founders. "Building their business on an e-commerce platform enables them to eliminate the costs associated with the brick and mortar stores, and the team has become quite adept at low-cost guerrilla marketing techniques. They promote Warby Parker using various social media tools, including Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Recently, a free Instagram photo walk event that started at the company's New York City headquarters filled 19,000 Twitter followers, many of whom actively promote the brand, creating their own stylish, retro-inspired designs and outsourcing production enables the company to keep its production costs low." Series A round of venture capital funding. Oh, sorry, skipped the line. So, creating their own stylish, retro-inspired designs and outsourcing production enables the company to keep its production costs low. Warby Parker's low-cost strategy is disrupting the once-staid industry and has attracted a $12 million Series A round of venture capital funding. There's a quote. It says, "They have developed great products and figured out new and cost-efficient ways to build and market them," says one investor. The entrepreneurs also include a social component in their business model, working with nonprofit agencies around the world to give a pair of glasses to someone in need for every pair they sell. More than 150,000 pairs and counting. Guys. So understand how they were able to cut the price, okay, on these glasses. These are designer frames. Warby Parker are designer frames. The reason that they're able to price them at $95 a pair at the time is because they were able to cut the cost of their marketing using social media. They cut the cost of their manufacturing. How did they cut the cost of their manufacturing? Let me see here. They cut the cost on their manufacturing. How did it say? Okay. Yeah. They cut their costs on manufacturing by doing e-commerce as opposed to doing a brick and mortar store, right? So they made the comment that the technology that made the glasses was just outdated. So one, updating the technology, two, the marketing that they used, and and let's see, what's the third one that we can throw in here in order for them to cut the cost? Three, I'll say this one is number 3 because, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs are doing it by themselves. Guys, it was 4 people who started this company, this eyeglass company. 4 guys that met in college. Now, again, people want to, like, y'all can shit on college. Y'all can talk about college all y'all want. All right, I went to college. All of my friends that went to college, right? Great businesses start from people who have at least gone to college, whether they stayed and finished or not. You know, whether they took a class or whether they dropped out, whether they applied and didn't get accepted. Like, A lot of great relationships are formed in college. The networking. There's things that you get in college that you don't get if you don't go. Okay? This company with these glasses that people love so much started from these 4 guys that were in college. Okay? That met in college. And they wanted to make designer frames at an affordable price. So they got into the industry. They researched the industry. They realized we can go back and list all kinds of things that happened in this story, right? But these are the key things that stood out to me. One, college, okay, because they never would have met had they never went to college. So they all decided to go to college. They all just so happened to meet each other at the same time at the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, so that's college is number 1. 2 is the team. The fact that they even decided to get together and create a team. Okay, number 3, they did research on the industry that they decided to go into. Okay, they're all the same. In a way, they already had their niche or their niche because they all realized we love glasses, we love designer frames, we just hate the price. Okay, so number 3, they did their research. They realized either they themselves were the target customer, the target audience, and that other people would also like this. I mean, if it's 4 people all saying the same thing on campus, like, dude, we need, like, let's do this together. So college, teamwork, research in the industry, okay, that they're going in. Updated technology. Use of an online store. And website use of an online store. Social media. and the mission, right? There's also this last thing down here that sticks out. The nonprofit organization, okay? They're working with nonprofit agencies to give a pair of glasses to someone in need for every pair they sell. More than 150,000 pairs and counting, okay? This is similar to that Tom strategy where they provide a pair of shoes for everyone you buy, you know. So for every pair they sell, guys, they're giving a pair away, but they're only able to do that. They're only able to give glasses away because they found a way to cut costs. Okay, they're not just, I mean, they're giving away the product, but they can do it. They're giving away the product, but they can do it. So it's really like, you know, buy one, get one. Buy one, give one. Think about that when you're thinking about your niche, when you're thinking about your product, when you're thinking about your, you know, your journey. I know a lot of people, they want to be fitness influencers, right? Or fitness, you know, fitness professionals will, you know, tell them, hey, like, you pay this cost, I'll train you and your family. You, your wife, your kids, and I'll train your dog. I'll teach your dog how to get active. You got a fat chihuahua, bring him to me. You gotta like, seriously, you know, really make it, but make it in a way, obviously, that's cost effective. You know, buy one, give one, so that people understand it. That's 7 things, okay, that they did in order to even become a great cost leader in this business and to do things that made their business make sense. Okay, and then the last thing, because I said I was gonna give y'all this, which was a gem that, if you know you stuck around, you're gonna get this. It's super great. I love it. I love it. And this goes into another book. It could be this book. It could be this book, or it could be another book. But but it's most likely this book. It's most likely this book. Yeah, it's most likely this book. Anyways, the key point is this. Guys, Warby Parker went international. Okay? When you take your business international, you think outside of your own two walls, your own frame, your own country, your own state, your own city. You begin to think big. And if you're not thinking big, I recommend this book right here, The Magic of Thinking Big. It has some really great quotes in here. I'll read one to you. You know, that hopefully makes you think outside of the box. Let's see here. Something that'll probably make you think big. I could just read, but I don't want to. I want to give y'all something big. Oh. Okay. Here we go. In this book, The Magic of Thinking Big. I was looking for this. Anyways, there's a part in the book that says you've got to have brains to succeed, and this chapter is like what is this chapter specifically about? It's like, I think it's like excuses or something like that for why people don't get started and stuff. It's chapter 2. Cure yourself of _𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐴, the failure disease. The 4 most common forms of _𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐴. Okay, these are people that are making excuses for why they don't want to do business, or maybe why they're not thinking big. And one of the excuses is that you gotta have brains to succeed. Okay, it says intelligence _𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐴, or I lack brains, is common. Not many people will openly admit that they think they lack adequate intelligence. So again, not many people will admit openly that they think they lack adequate intelligence. Rather, they feel it deep down inside. Most of us make 2 basic errors with respect to intelligence. Number 1, we underestimate our own brain power. Number 2, we overestimate the other fellow's brain power. Okay, I'm gonna put that away because we're still in the middle of this book, talking about cost leadership strategy. This is only the first strategy in this 9-step process to help you understand how niching is going to really empower your business. And the bonus is that if you go international, if you think big and you go international, your business is more likely to succeed because you're touching more people and you're thinking outside of the box of your little state or your little city or your little country. I'm not saying that anything's wrong with your hometown. Your hometown's great, all right? But however, how many people are exactly like you or looking for exactly what you have to offer in your little hometown? GoPro just went off. Anyways, how many people are looking for exactly what you have to offer in your little hometown? Even if you have a big town, how many people are looking exactly for that in your hometown? Now, if you have something like glasses that you can manufacture at a low cost and, in the industry and get out to many people, man, your business has the opportunity to go international. I'm telling you guys, if you're doing business in America, okay, you're only touching about 5%, or maybe even less than 5%, somewhere around 5% of the entire wealth in the entire world, okay? If you're doing business in America, only doing business in the United States, you're only getting about you're only touching about 5% of wealth in the entire world, in the entire globe. There's business in Australia, there's business in Germany, there's business in Japan, there's business in Russia, there's business in Brazil, there's business in Europe, there's business in the United Kingdom, there's business in everywhere. Okay, there's money everywhere, there's currency exchanges everywhere, there's business in South America, there's business in Africa, there's business everywhere. Okay, so if you're only doing business in North America, United States, in your city, in your little town, your business, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, is less likely to succeed over a long period of time. However, if you go international, if you think big, your business is more likely to succeed. And that's the extra tip that I wanted to give y'all today, is to think big, think broad. Don't think that you have to know it all. Don't think that you're not worthy enough, or that everyone around you is 100 times smarter than you. You pick your niche, and you know your niche, and you have a strategy, then you can do it. However, do not outprice yourself. Do not cut prices so low that you're unable to afford the cost of doing business, because it costs to do business. It costs money to set prices. Okay? Anything else to add to this? No? Okay. Do you guys understand those 7 points plus the 8 bonus that went on with the Warby Parker situation, and why they were able to cut prices, and when they were able to cut prices, and how they were able to maintain business and do as much as they were able to do with the nonprofit because they went international? We get that? I think we get that. Pretty sure we got it. Cool. Okay. Are y'all liking this? Is this cool? Can we can we get into the next part? That was like, how long was that? That was like an hour, yo. That was an hour. Just on, this one part of cost leadership strategy. A solid example. So let's get into part two. Let's get into differentiation. I don't know whether to make a second video about this, because it can get long, or to just keep it going. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm having fun though. I'm having fun. That's all. That's all that matters. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm just making one video. I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just making one video. We're gonna keep it going. Maybe we'll take clips from this. Okay. And that's how we'll get the second part. But let's recap real quick, because I want to write those down myself. Number 1. All right, what was number 1? Number 1 was these guys at Warby Parker. They went to college. So y'all can shit on college as much as y'all want to. Y'all can talk crap about college. Y'all can say, I ain't got to go to college. If you on YouTube right now, you at YouTube University with everybody else in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in college. Stop it. Okay, we're all in college. Knowledge is a forever thing. We're always learning something new. You probably learned something new today. I learned a bunch of new things today. We all learned a bunch of new things today. Hopefully we're learning things about ourselves and about our community and about our businesses. And, it's just like we're in a constant state of learning, whether we want to or not. And, for those of us who decided to go to college, amazing. For those of us who decided to finish college, man, it's a feeling that only people who go through it and finish can experience. That's all I'll say about that. Number 2, these guys created a team. Okay, so they went to college, they created a team amongst themselves at the college. Number 3 was they did research. Okay. Number 4, they realized there was a technology gap, so they improved tech. Number 5 is that these guys understood something about cutting costs in terms of the online side of things. Now, again, this isn't the tech. So again, number 4 is like improved tech, but it's, you could really say it's like manufacturing. So we put like / manufacturing. Number 5. Number 5 is I'm thinking I skipped something. Let's see what I skipped something. They met at college. They created a team. They did some research. Okay, yeah, they improved the tech, did the manufacturing, they built an online presence, so not just manufacturing costs, not just cutting manufacturing costs, but actual e-commerce. So number 5, that's what we'll put e-commerce. They actually used the internet. Okay. And then on the internet, number 6, and just use the internet, use social media. They got social engagement. They got social engagement online. Number 7 is that they worked with the buy one, give one system. So instead of buy one, get one, it's like buy one, give one. Think about that on the holidays, okay? Everything, for every gift that you get for yourself, get one for someone else, or for every gift that you get for yourself, give 2 to someone else, or for every gift that you buy for your family, you buy for another family, for your neighbors. Okay, so buy one, give one. That was a really great system. Imagine how much you have to cut costs in order to be able to give something away. Okay, that's pretty cool. You gotta like you gotta be real dope. You gotta be real nice to be able to make costs low enough to manufacture, package, ship, and promote these products and still make a profit and be able to give one away. That number seven is key. And then we had our number 8, which was the bonus one, which was go international. Now, even in that number 7, they didn't just do that alone. Okay, let me just point this back out, going back into that number 7. We can even make this a number 9 if you want to, or like a 7.5, however y'all want to do it. But in the buy one, get one, okay, in order to do this, in order to go international, how they were able to do this, when they were able to do this, was when they partnered with nonprofit agencies, okay, around the world. It wasn't just them just giving something away, okay? They were partnering with other nonprofit agencies in order to be able to do that. Okay, so number 9 or 7.5, however you want to do it, is partner with other businesses. In business, we call this B2B. Or business to business transactions. Don't get this confused with number 2. Okay, this is not team. The team is the company itself. The team is the founders. Okay, founders. You on the big on the founders. Okay, founders. S. The one that we just mentioned is partnering with other businesses. So yeah, if we want to throw a number 10 out there, I could probably find one in here. I could probably find a little gem in here for y'all. Let me see. Okay, so number 10 would be, now this goes back to that social engagement thing, right? Number 10 would be local events. Okay. So not just this didn't happen only because they were doing social engagement. They're also doing community engagement. They're also out there with the community locally doing, at these fashion shows, at these, and their glasses are being seen during events when a lot of things are going on. Okay, so that probably helped them sell more, which helped them get more money, which helped them put that money into the technology that helps them make the glasses. And if they could take some of that money and invest it into the money and invest it into the manufacturing process to cut costs on manufacturing, then it cuts the cost on the actual process of doing all of that. And that's not going to cut the price, but that's going to increase the profit, because whenever you can cut the costs and the price stays the same, then you literally just increase the profit. So yeah, if it costs, let's just say your price, right, is $10, but it costs you $5 to make it. Price stays $10, cost is $5. You take all 10 of those dollars, okay? This is not financial advice. This is just, regular everyday scenario, and you decide that you want to take a step of faith, and like, you know what, I'm going to take all 10 of these dollars and I'm going to put it back into the cost that it cost me to make this thing, okay? And by doing that, it now only costs you $1 to make whatever it is that you're making, and you're able to make more of that thing, and now you have more product, and it takes you less time, and your machinery is better, and you're able to give away a product, and you're able to do a little bit more, right? And so now price stays the same. It only costs $1 to make it. Well, whenever you sell it again, you just got a $9 profit instead of a $5 profit. Big difference. And you probably have the ability now to give one away. So that's just a small scenario of how the cost leadership strategy works in review in total. And I hope y'all like that. So yeah, we're at a little over an hour now. Let's get into the last two. Okay? Just to recap, okay? Just to recap, this is why I like business, right? I like business because business gets deep. Business gets deep. There's always like this internal step inside of the step, inside of the step, inside of the step, in the scenario exactly to fit that thing. Okay? So, whoo, buddy. Again, let's go over these. Let's go over the 9 steps. Then zoom back in on the 1 step. Then zoom back in on the 3. Again, this is the strategic management process. There are 9 steps. There are 9 steps inside of the strategic management process, okay? Reading it again. One of the most important tasks a business owner must perform is to look ahead, to peer into the future, and then devise a strategy for meeting the challenges and opportunities it presents. Strategic management. The best way to accomplish this vital task is a continuous process that consists of 9 steps. Number 1, develop a clear vision and translate it into meaningful mission statement. Have you done that? Number 2, assess the company's strengths and weaknesses. Have you done that? Number 3, scan the environment for significant opportunities and threats facing this business. Have we done that? Number 4, identify the key factors for success in business. Identify the key factors for success in the business. Number 4, have we done that? Step 5, analyze the competition. Have we analyzed the competition? Did those guys do their research? They absolutely did do their research. Number 6, create company goals and objectives. Have you made company goals and objectives? Have we made goals and objectives for this company? What does all this have to do with niching? Number 7, formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies, which is the one that we're narrowing in on, that we're talking about today, okay? Step 8, translate strategic plans into action plans. We're not just strategizing about it, but taking action. We'll talk about that another day. Have we done that? If we haven't done number 7, probably not. And then step 9, establish accurate controls. That's a whole nother thing, getting deep into it, actually understanding how, some things that we'll get into that. But anyways, out of those 9, we're on number 7, which is formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies. Again, a strategy is a roadmap an entrepreneur draws up of the actions necessary to fulfill a company's mission, goals, and objectives. In other words, the mission, goals, and objectives spell out the ends, and the strategy defines the means for reaching them, guys. Look, anybody that's in business will tell you, one of the best entry strategies is an exit strategy. Okay? A strategy helps you spell out the ends. and the strategy defines the means for reaching them. So, in all of this, the formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategy. Step number 7, again, gotta repeat. Okay, the reason I gotta repeat these things is because, you know, when I say it a few times, things start to click, and we gotta remember that it's like a thing inside of a thing inside of a thing inside of a thing. It's like those little eggs that just every time, and then it's like the little golden nugget in the middle, and then one of those things really resonate with you because it's a certain picture or it's a certain size or whatever, right? But that's why I gotta repeat this thing. Okay, so inside of the 9-step strategic management process, step number 7 is formulate strategic options and select the appropriate strategies. Inside of this, we talk about what a definition of a strategy is. And even though the number of strategies from which entrepreneurs can choose is infinite, 3 basic strategies remains. Again, this comes from the book Competitive Strategy by Michael Porter. Number 1 is called leadership. We talked about that. Number 2 is differentiation. And number 3 is focus. So, number 2, differentiation. Guys, this is going to really help you figure out what niche you're going to do. And not just what niche you're going to do, but how you're going to do your niche. What you're going to do when certain things happen. When certain things happen inside of your niche, when certain things happens inside of your company, the way that you respond to those things, the things that make you different inside of business. Okay, let's get into differentiation. I ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm gonna get straight into it. Okay, now, oh wow, there's another cost leadership strategy. There's another cost leadership strategy scenario. I'm not gonna go over it, but we're gonna get into differentiation, and we'll go back and hit on the ones that we didn't talk about later. All right, differentiation. A company following a differentiation strategy seeks to build customer loyalty by positioning its goods or services in a unique or different fashion. Let's read that again, because that was like gems. I could probably just stop right there and just go straight into the example. I think that'll be good for this one. Just go straight into the example, right? A company following differentiation. A company following a differentiation strategy seeks to build customer loyalty by positioning its goods or services in a unique or different fashion. In other words, a company strives to be better than its competitors at something that its customers value. Is that good enough? Do we get it? Can I just move on to the next thing? Can we underline that? A company strives to be better than its competitors at something that its customers value. At something that its customers value. Okay, so when we're talking about this, we're talking about your niche. We're talking about your product, your good, or your service. What exactly is it that the people you're serving value? What is it that your customers value? And what is it that your company is striving to be better at than your competitors in terms of this value? This thing could be anything. This is the reason why some people shop Target and some people shop Walmart. This is the reason why some people shop Walmart and some people shop Amazon. This is the reason why some people go to Lowe's and some people go to Home Depot. This is the reason why some people go to McDonald's and some people go to Burger King. This is the reason why some people go to Ruth Chris, and some people go to Longhorn. This is the reason why some people go to Hilton and some people go to Marriott. This is the reason why some people fly Delta and some people fly Spirit and some people fly private jet. Okay? Listen. A company strives to be better than its competitors at something that its customers value. This goes into differentiation strategy. The primary benefit of successful differentiation is the ability to generate higher profit margins because of customers' heightened brand loyalty and reduced price sensitivity. So these people here ain't worried about price, okay? They're loyal to the brand. And it's not that they're probably not worried about the price, but their price sensitivity is reduced. The price sensitivity is lowered. The sensitivity they have towards price doesn't matter as much as the loyalty that they have to the brand or the company. There are certain reasons that they like certain things about this place or this thing or this product or good or service, or you as the business owner or the team. There's something that they like about it, okay? One of the reasons, guys, I grocery shop a lot, okay? But one place that I really absolutely love to shop is Publix. Why do I like shopping at Publix? Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, okay? The green logo with the P, okay? They got this deli mart, they got fresh produce, they got, people bagging your groceries, they got but I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The reason why I like shopping Publix, the reason why I love to shop at Publix is because every time I go in Publix, there's always somebody working. There's always somebody actively doing exactly what it is that they're supposed to be doing. I never go in Publix and see somebody off task on their phone doing something that they just Publix is Publix is like the Chick-fil-A of grocery stores. Okay? Except they're open every day. And they close at the same time every day. It's no craziness. And I think they open at the same time every day. At least the one here does anyways. Everyone has their green aprons or whatever. It's cool. It's real dope. And I like Publix because everybody in there is working. Even the managers that I've seen working in Publix are working all the time. Now again, guys, if you work at Publix, maybe you know something that I don't know, and maybe somebody is off task and you got your own personal experience because you work there. But from my experience, okay, that's why I shop Publix when I go to grocery stores. Now there's Kroger's, there's Food Line, there's Walmart, there's Piggly Wiggly. I'm in the South, y'all, so if I'm naming stuff to y'all, there's Aldi, there's all these places that a person can go in to shop for groceries. Fresh Food Market, okay? But that's one of the reasons why I like going into Publix is because I'm looking and I'm just dang, bro, everybody's at work here. Okay, anyways, back to differentiation. That's one of the things that I value, okay, when I go into a store. If I could go into a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General and there's literally one person working, and the shelves and stuff are all over the place. And there's nobody realigning the things on the shelves. I like organization. It helps my mind. So when I go into Publix, one of the things that I value is cleanliness and organization. And every time I go into Publix, it's simple. I can find what I'm looking for. Somebody's working almost on every aisle. People are asking me, if I need help. The managers are asking me if I need help finding something. And my experience is always great, okay? My experience is always great there every time. Because there are certain things that I value, and the reason why I go to Publix, as opposed to going anywhere else for certain things. So I have a certain type of brand loyalty towards them, which is why I'm less price sensitive when it comes to shopping there, because I know I'm gonna curate this experience for myself that is worth it at the end of the day when I leave. Okay? Boom. So, there are many ways to create a differentiation strategy, but the key is to be special at something that is important to customers and offers them unique values such as quality, convenience, flexibility, performance, or style. Okay? This is one of the things that I underline. It's a quote or saying or something like that. It says, you'd better be on top of what it is your customers value and continually improve your offerings to better deliver that value, advises Jill Griffin, who's a strategic marketing consultant. Again, you'd better be on top of what it is your customers value and continually improve your offerings to better deliver that value, advises Jill Griffin. Even in industries in which giant companies dominate, small companies that differentiate themselves can thrive, even though they cannot compete effectively on the basis of price. For instance, the $20 billion pet food industry is dominated by large companies, but several small companies are achieving success with differentiation strategies that are designed to resonate with their target customers. I'm going to read some more. This goes back to that quote. This is right after that quote. Read it one more time for y'all. You'd better be on top of what it is your customers value and continually improve your offerings to better deliver that value, advises Jill Griffin, a strategic marketing consultant. Any small company that can offer products or services that larger competitors do not, improve a product's or service's performance, reduce the customer's risk of purchasing it, or enhances the customer's status or self-esteem, has the potential to differentiate. So look at these things, man. Okay, look at these things. Let's look at these things. Let's point them out again. Any small company that can offer products or services that larger competitors do not. Okay, improve a product, service, or performance. That's one. Reduce the customer's risk of purchasing it. Two. Okay, reduce risk. Three, enhances the customer's self-esteem or status. Okay, that's number three. Enhances the customer's status or self-esteem. You have the potential to differentiate because you're offering something that the competitors don't. You have the potential to differentiate with those things. Those are just three things. Okay, but if you can do any of those three things, is great. And again, going back to these things that the customer value, we can point these things out. Some things that just think about things that you value. What do you value? Like one of the things that I value, right? One of my number one things that I value is integrity. Okay. So again, when I go into Publix, people ain't BSing in Publix. Like the workers are working. Like that's integrity to me, because I go in there and they're doing exactly what they came to do there. Everybody's on task. Everybody's working, and things are literally getting done. Like I can see the store on its toes all the time. It doesn't matter if like there's a manager or area regional manager coming in to observe. Like all of the ones that I've seen down here in the South in Georgia have been great. Everywhere else, I don't know. But the ones that I've seen here have been great. And yeah, man. So again, what is it that you value? What's something that you value? Another thing that I value is time. So because I go in there, everybody's working, everything's organized, I can go in there and get what I need to get, and I can get out without getting distracted by things going on, without being stuck in a line for a long period of time, without having to wait for somebody to show me the way to a certain thing, or wait for someone to get something out of a cabinet or something like that, or unlock a drawer. Like I went to a Target one time and they had like the laundry detergent locked up in a case. I'm like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I had to wait 10 minutes for laundry detergent. It was sick. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is why I do not come to Target, okay? I know people like Target. I know y'all like the Starbucks in Target. I used to work at Starbucks. I ain't worried about none of that. I had to wait 10, 15 minutes to get detergent out of the case. They locked it up. Okay, I don't get that when I go to Publix. I don't get that when I go to Walmart, dog. These other, so I don't. So no, I'm probably like I go. Let me tell you when I go to Target. I go to Target when I have no other options. Okay, I go to Target. I ain't gonna talk about Target. Anyways, this ain't about Target. This is about values. Okay, what do you value? One of the things I value is integrity. Another thing that I value is time. That's why I shop Publix. So when you're thinking about niching down, think about some of the things that you value, okay? And if this is something that you value, how do your values show up in your business, okay, that sets you apart from the bigger companies who are also doing business, that helps you differentiate from them? Yes, they have a 10,000 square foot building. However, you know, they share it with someone else and there's never parking. You got to pay for parking. Well, if you come here, you don't have to pay for parking. Stay as long as you need to. XYXY. Da 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 da. You won't get a ticket or booted. So on and so forth. Now, so what is it that you value? And how does that show up in your business? Okay. Quality, convenience, flexibility, performance, style. Quality, convenience, flexibility, performance, style. Do any of those stand out to you? Okay. Do you see any of those inside of your business? Okay. Do you have, is your product more quality? Is your product a higher quality? Is your product got a little more style and steez? Is it convenient? Okay, convenience could be location. Is it closer? Convenience could be, are you mobile? One of the reasons my business did so good is because I was mobile. Convenience. People love convenience. I love convenience. I value convenience. And so, again, depending on exactly what you value is how it's going to show up in your business. If you don't value integrity, it's not your, don't, if you're lying, cheating, stealing, thieving, conniving, treacherous, backstabbing individual, it's going to show up in your business because these are things that you don't value integrity. If you don't value it, it's going to be hard for it to show up in your business. It's going to be hard to get someone who is a good employee or a good business partner if these aren't things that you value within yourself. Because if you value it and you understand it, you will be able to recognize it when it shows up. Again, if you value it, you'll be able to recognize it when it shows up. So if someone else values it, understand that they'll also be able to recognize when it does or does not show up. If you're not doing business good, people are going to know. People are going to tell other people and they're not going to come back to you. So what do you value and how is that showing up in your business? Do you value style? How does that show up in your branding? How does that show up in your marketing? How does that show up in your uniform when you come to work? How does that show up in your online presence? How does that show up to make you different than all of these other companies, regardless of how big or how small they are? Okay, again, getting into your niche, getting into your niche, because depending on how you show up in the marketplace is also going to determine your target audience. If convenience is something that you're looking for, probably don't do a fast food, probably do a fast food, but don't do one that you have to wait in line for 30 minutes, because that's, or don't do one that is 30 miles away from the people who you're trying to feed, unless they do travel at 30 miles and they can get in and get out really quickly, you know. So like, there are ways to differentiate. Okay, I'm going into one of the final few paragraphs of this. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'm not gonna stop to talk in it. I'm just gonna keep reading. All right, we got like 2 more paragraphs of this. The key to a successful business strategy is to build it on a core competency, something the small company is uniquely good at doing in comparison to its competitors. Common bases for differentiation include superior customer service, special product features, complete product lines, a custom tailored product or service, instantaneous parts availability, absolute product reliability, supreme product quality, extensive product knowledge, and the ability to build long-term, mutually beneficial relationships with customers. To be successful, a differentiation strategy must create the perception of value to the customer. No customer will purchase a good or service that fails to produce a perceived value, no matter how real the value may be. One business consultant advises, make sure you tell your customers and prospects what it is about your business that makes you different. Make sure that difference is on the form of a true benefit to the customer. Pursuing a differentiation strategy includes risks. Whew. I said I wasn't going to stop, so I'm not going to stop. Pursuing a differentiation strategy includes risk. One danger is trying to differentiate a product or service on the basis of something that does not boost its performance or lower its costs to the buyer. Another pitfall is trying to differentiate on the basis of something that customers do not perceive as important. Business owners also must consider how long they can sustain a product's or service's differentiation. Oh my God. Changing customer taste makes the basis for differentiation temporary at best. Imitations and knockoffs from competitors also pose a threat to a successful differentiation strategy. For instance, designers of high-priced original clothing see much cheaper knockoff products on the market shortly after their designs hit the market. Another danger of this strategy is over-differentiating and charging so much that a company prices its products out of its target customers' reach. The final risk is focusing only on the physical characteristics of a product or service and ignoring important physiological factors such as status, prestige, and image, which can be powerful sources of differentiation. Now, let me ask y'all something. How many of y'all that haven't gone to college have heard this before? Be real. If you ever heard this before, if you ever heard all of these things, mind you, we didn't even get to the third strategic. We didn't even get to the third strategic option yet. Yeah, we didn't even get to the third strategic option yet. This is number 3, right? This is the cool thing that I like about business and studying business. Because there's a thing inside of a thing inside of a thing inside of a thing. And it really breaks it down and makes sure that you don't it makes sure that you don't miss a spot. Whether you miss a spot or not, the information inside of these college textbooks make sure that you don't miss a spot. Because it tells you the pros and the cons. It doesn't just tell you what to do. And it doesn't even tell you what to do. It just literally gives you the options of things that you can do. It really helps you think bigger and expand your possibilities in business. It's never telling you exactly what to do. It's just telling you exactly what it is studying business. Okay? So again, that was the end of that. I wanted to stop in the middle of these because there was some parts in here, like this risk part, right? I know everybody want to be different. Everybody want to be one of a kind. But there are some things that people don't care about.